So I want to talk about the whole. I guess it's more cartoon image in American politics, but the terminology by Marxists, I think they are the ones who make a big deal out of this. But cultural appropriation, and I'm gonna burst some bubbles into this. I am, however, gonna mention. I think it's totally fine to be upset with not getting credit. Um, for example, I think the band Howlin Wolf is pretty good band if you haven't heard of it. It's a very good blues band, I think. Uh, but the thing is, Rolling Stones at least credited that artist for being inspired by those. So if you mean certain artists that didn't credit people for the influence, I can understand being upset by that. That's totally fine. But here is where I'm not gonna agree with the idea that the Caucasians are stealing music from Africans or stuff. That's just pure nonsense, and I'm gonna prove this very easily. Take blues for example. Uh, Guess what the harmonica instrument, which was used in early blues music, that was made in ancient China in 3000 BC and was modernized by Europeans in the 1800s, I think. So by that logic, um, are you saying blues artists culturally appropriate the culture? So that's the joke here, and I'm not gonna try to say that. I'm not gonna try to say that Vikings invented rap, but there is some Wikipedia page on Flyting, I think it's pronounced, where it's kind of like poetry, slander, and it kind of works on modern day rap battles. Um, but I'm not gonna say that Vikings invented it. But the point is, um, um, my point is music is about sharing. That's the idea. So as long as you credit people for their attributes, then I think it's okay. Uh, but yeah, I just think it's kind of like this Marxist lies that try to say that they steal from a culture when that's just bullshit. Um, but not giving credit, I totally get is not cool. Also, I guess I'm gonna mention a little bit one more thing about this whole reparation for Africa, which I don't agree with. I mean, I do agree that exploiting poor countries is very shady and crappy. But what are you gonna what are what are they gonna fix mud huts? Because it's not like Africa had stuff to really you know in terms of at least in comparison, if you compare to like Eastern Asia or Europe at the time. I mean, it's not like mud huts are actually something that's really that worth to repair up. But I'm also gonna mention something else about because I think there are some racist people who think that because African continent you know had this type of civilization. I mean, I wouldn't say civilization, but the point is they just assume that okay, then that means Africans are stupid and they can't build anything. That's not true. It's more of an evolutionary thing with how cultures shape. For example, in Europe, the reason why, for example, Europe or Eastern Asia had the civilizations they had, or Middle East for that matter, is because of war cultures. So if you are getting attacked constantly, then you have to, in terms of trying to prepare yourself or be better prepared. Having scientists or inventors or better living conditions is part of that culture because war is imminent. But in comparison to, for example, other places around the world where it's African continent or Americas before Europeans invaded, and then you have Polynesia. What do they have in common? They aren't really advanced societies. I mean, sure, America's had the cool temples, but my point is, the point is they didn't feel the need to develop in the way that war cultures developed in a sense. So that's really why. So they are more tribal conflicts, but they aren't major conflicts. So that's why, for example, African continent didn't develop in the way that, for example, other places like Europe or Asia or Middle East did. So it's not like it's not like a certain race is dumb. It's just that evolutionary wise, that's just how they developed as a culture. So just to mention that, yeah, I just want to say that really. I think there's a lot of people who just are mad and pissed because they assume that it's like this or that. And also, just to clarify about the ancient Egypt, they were a mixed race, so it's not the classical blacks that, at least not the pure bred ones. That's in America. If you wonder about that one, ancient Egyptians can be compared to South Americans in terms of a hybrid race. I'm not saying that South Americans were literally ancient Egyptians, but the comparison stands. Where in terms of facial features and skin color, basically it's a mixed race basically. And the Nubians that were from South Sudan, they are more like the classical blacks that are in USA. The ones that kind of worked with ancient Egyptians, but they weren't a part of the culture. They just kind of helped out in a sense. But yeah, I mean, I can link that video, I guess. At least, I don't think I need to link the video. But I can link some sources if you want comparison to the depictions of the ancient Egyptians. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is, it's not really about race. Really, it's more about how a culture develops in terms of the adaptability of how it shapes out. And that's why a culture can develop in this way if it gets affected by other type of war cultures. I think that's really why they develop the way they do. So yeah, I just want to say that really. But if you have any questions, then feel free to say so. Yeah, thank you for listening and bye. Oh yeah, one more thing actually. I actually have one more thing to say. I guess since we are about this whole racism talk, I think also the problem is the United States profits more of racism because it's more profitable. And I think I know one thing that is also terminologies for why, at least why they continue this. I think it would be better if you just had the word Caucasian and African to describe where people come from originally. I mean, just because you are African, that doesn't make you less European. In terms of if you were born in a European country, I mean, then you're just African origin, but you're still European in terms of continent you are from. My point is, the logic here is Caucasian is because you are from the Caucasus area in terms of the origin of the race and ethnic background. Same thing with African in terms of those people. Because Asians they have their own word, so they have it already solved. I don't really like the word white and black because I think it's meant to be politicized and set people up against each other because if you're just looking at people in in one way or another, then you aren't really looking at other people as humans, and I don't really like that word. I think it's made to politicize people rather than actually just say, hey, I am this, and hey, who are you? And besides, it doesn't make sense either way because how likely is it that you are transparent to a wall? If I take my hand to a white wall, it's gonna be light orange. It's not gonna be purely transparent. So I think they are very pretentious terminologies. I'm not a fan of them. But that's all I want to say, really. And I also do blame the whole racism in USA on the whole two-party system. I really do think that because and it's also because cops can shoot people if they are armed. So gun culture may also have something to do with this. And there's yeah, I guess my point is, in a sense, I think having a good role model is good, but it really is just it's just I think people don't think a lot. So yeah. But feel free to disagree if you don't agree with this video. Thank you for listening, and bye. Okay, last thing. I actually remember one thing. I guess I'm gonna mention something ironic here. You know the harmonica, right? Which was a thing, by Africans in the USA in terms of how popular blues was. Guess which counterpart is on that one? In the South, South USA, they have this thing called banjo. Guess where banjo instruments originates from? Africa. So you see my point. It's about sharing. So yeah, I just want to share that fun fact. So yeah, thank you for listening, and bye.